So now that Djokovic has won the Australian Open, let's take a look at some of the biggest takeaways that this tournament gave us. So, Djokovic, in my opinion, still has a lot of good years left in him. The way he brushed aside so many high-level, quality players who were in some cases a decade younger than him, and still playing offensive tennis by shortening the points and bullying opponents with his spot serving, just speak volumes on how he continues to improve with time, only adding to the longevity aspect to his career. Also, putting the whole tour on notice by saying he's still the best player in the world. Now, Tsitsipas, in my opinion, is still not a mentality monster yet. He did not have the ability to switch up his play in order to combat Novak in the final. So in those tiebreaks, he could have been a lot more clutch, or perhaps even won one, by just changing his game slightly, completely opening up that final, potentially resulting in a win, depending on how much gas Djokovic had left in the tank. Speaking of that final, I don't know why Stefanos almost shrinks in these big matches against Djokovic. He's lost the last 10, which is crazy, considering in the first 3 meetings Steph won 2 of them, as he didn't fear Novak and actually embraced the moment and elevated his game. Yet he seemed to can't do that anymore. So maybe we need to give Stefanos a bit more time to see if he can raise his mental game and thus be able to clinch a Grand Slam. Now, I know Sebastian Korda did lose to Khachanov. However, if it weren't due to that injury, I would have thought that he had made a strong case for being in that semi-final against Tsitsipas, as that week he had taken out Medvedev playing low-error, confident tennis. For that reason, I see no reason why Korda could not make a push for the top 10 this year. He has an all-court game and a great serve. Perhaps he just needs to work on the mental aspect of his game, especially in those high-pressure situations. But he was so good that week that he should really be shaking up the pecking order at the top of the rankings if he continues to play this way throughout the season. Now let's talk about Sasha. He had an early exit this year, so we still need to give him a bit more time. Yes, the double faults are still there, but he still needs those 7 months of match practice back to try and get back where he was. So despite those promising exhibition performances, particularly against Novak, he still needs more time to play to try and reach his high level in that 2022 season, or at least the beginning half of it. So then finally, I like to finish off with Djokovic again. As now, the slam race is firmly in his hands, with Nadal looking somewhat injured and not having a great start to 2023, as well as the current and next gen players not looking that impressive at slams / not really being ready yet. It's hard not to believe that Djokovic could win 2 to 3 slams each year for the next 2 to 3 years. Now I know also Alcaraz has made a strong case for himself by winning the US Open and being world number 1 last year. And all these other young guns who are improving at a rapid rate could also make themselves known on tour, like Tsitsipas, who took Novak to 5 sets back in 2021, or Sinner taking Djokovic to 5 sets at Wimbledon last year. So it's going to be a very interesting season to come. But Djokovic, for now anyway, has firmly put himself as the best player in the world by re-achieving that world number 1 ranking. So those were my biggest takeaways from the Australian Open this year. Once again, I like to reiterate, it was a great tournament. There were so many great matches, so many nice runs. For example, Ben Shelton and Lehechka making good runs, as well as Tommy Paul. So this is going to be shaping up to be a very interesting season. So, thank you so much for watching and listening. Take care and peace. If you would like to see any of these other videos, click here as well.